Okay, so here I am once again. I have a few hours until I have to get ready to go to church, and I feel like I want to record the last Godzilla Monster Manuals video for Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. What I realized while I was editing the Biollante video, that I actually skipped over one. I technically already did a video on this monster, but I want to kind of speed through the manual for them because it has been updated since I last looked at the monster manuals. And that monster is, of course, Titanosaurus. I do not want to waste a whole lot of time, so I'm just going to get into that. And we're just going to read the new monster manual bio for Titanosaurus, and I'll try and cover any changes that have been made to the general thing after that, and then I'll move into Godzilla 2000. Interesting, so they made it so that Titanosaurus is under Vortok control in the present day of Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. I like that Titanosaurus basically waffles inside and outside of Vortok control, and as a result is technically an Earth defender because on some level it knows that it is being controlled. Alright, time for the intro. I don't remember that music, but that sounds like it's from the Showa era of Godzilla. Look, the important thing, as I said in that old video long ago, was that it just needs to have the intro animation that it had in Godzilla Unleashed. I'm gonna speed through the other two, and if you don't see them on the screen, it's just gonna mean that I haven't found any new information that deserves putting to video. Otherwise, you can just watch that old video. Okay, the moveset's the same as it was in that old video, so check that out for more insight into the specifics. But a new thought that I have is, I wonder how they're going to balance around the way that Titanosaurus is supposedly going to work in Save the Earth Melee, because if its moveset changes in certain respects depending on whether it's on land or in the water, is going to definitely challenge the viability of certain moves in its moveset. Like, just imagine a tournament setting and how that's going to affect Titanosaurus in terms of competitive viability. Obviously, no one who plays casually, me included, is going to really care, but Titanosaurus is definitely being designed with some aspect of a competitive mindset in mind. So, and there are no new skins that have been added to the Titanosaurus Monster Manual skin screen since I did that original video. I'll say it here, in that original video, I did not realize that the Gangster Goliath recolor was just a reference to the Godzilla Gangsters and Goliaths comic from IDW Publishing. I won't redo the skins because, aside from the recommendations that I had in that original video, there's only one that I can think of, and that's because I just looked at the Wikizilla gallery for Titanosaurus. I'll plop it up on the screen right about now. It's basically just a golden chibi toy of Titanosaurus, and I don't know if you could put it into the game wholesale, but it's kind of got some oranges and reds in there alongside the gold parts, so it wouldn't necessarily be a terrible skin to choose for Titanosaurus in this game. So I just wanted to cover Titanosaurus in brief before we got to Godzilla 2000 because there were things that I didn't cover in that original video. And I realized in the process of editing the Biollante video that somehow Titanosaurus had gotten left off of the random roulette spinner wheel. I imagine that's because on some level I intuited that that original Titanosaurus video was still mostly accurate. Today is July 6th at 12:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So by the time this video comes out, there might be changes, but considering how long it's been since that original video got recorded in like March, I doubt there will be any significant changes by the time this video comes out. And as I said before, I'm really excited for Titanosaurus within this game. It's also rather fitting that Titanosaurus is is, according to the Monster Manual, being constructed from the rig of Godzilla 2000. Because, as I said, today we're covering Godzilla 2000. Now, long ago, in a time long since past, I covered the Godzilla 2000 and Orga presentation for Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, and there was a lot that was revealed in that video, and so I figured there wasn't really any point in coming back to the Monster Manual for Godzilla 2000, but considering the amount of work that they seem to have put into Godzilla 2000 for this project, and the amount of things that they are doing to the other characters in terms of lore and moveset and skins, I feel like it's probably a good idea to do this and just go over the character again, because obviously I've learned a thing or two since that original presentation video. As far as preliminary thoughts go, Godzilla 2000 is cool in the vanilla version of Godzilla Save the Earth, but if I'm being 100% honest, Godzilla 90s was cooler to me as a child, and even as an adult, I really prefer the moveset for Godzilla 90s, but it seems like they've modified Godzilla 2000 within the context of Godzilla Save the Earth Melee to the point where I might just pick Godzilla 2000, because I have a sort of soft spot for that movie and this suit slash design of the character, so the changes that they've made may be enough to push me over the edge to finally routinely pick Godzilla 2000 over the other iterations of Godzilla. But let me hop into the Monster Manual. Alright, does this have any lore that I need to read? Okay, so I guess the most interesting thing to note from this Monster Manual is that within the canon of Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, Godzilla 2000 is technically only Godzilla 2. So would this hypothetically make him an alternate form of Timbert? Obviously, all the Millennium incarnations of Godzilla technically follow their own canons in the actual Godzilla franchise, but it's interesting that they went this route. I wonder if this means that within the canon of Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, Godzilla Heisei, Godzilla Showa, and Godzilla Millennium are all technically the same version of Godzilla, and that the in-game representations of them are just slightly different interpretations of the character. Also, I believe in some video I watched, someone referred to Godzilla 2000 as the Shinsei Godzilla. Okay, I just checked Wikizilla behind the scenes, and apparently the Japanese title for the Millennium series is the Shinseki Shirizu series. But yeah, it's mostly referred to as the Millennium series. So, also just want to point out, I'm glad they're highlighting the Organizer G1 component. I won't lie, I would have probably preferred if this was Godzilla 3, because as a child I thought that Godzilla 2000 was the resurrected Godzilla Jr. from the Heisei series, because obviously as a child I was not aware of the intricacies of Godzilla canon, but that's just me. Alright, I want to hear his intro. I do not for the life of me remember where that music track. My gut wants to say Godzilla 2000, but for some reason I feel like that's a Millennium song. Specifically from Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla or Godzilla Tokyo SOS. Or, well, I guess it could come from Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, but as I've said in the past, there's only one song that I remember from that film, and that's Fateful Confrontation. I do hope that they fix Godzilla's pose after he finishes roaring in his intro, because if you watch any gameplay of Godzilla 2000 in Save the Earth Melee, the pose after he finishes roaring in his intro animatic is exactly the same as when he does it in Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii, and it kind of feels like an actor kind of just giving up the ghost and just looking at the director and saying, okay, is the take over? Can I I just relax now. Up until the literal last frame of the roar, like where he opens and then closes his mouth, is fine. It's just everything after that is just kind of, for lack of a better word, stilted, stiff. And I do not blame the development team for that animation because they did not craft the original animation in Godzilla Unleashed, but I do recommend changing the end of the animation because it just doesn't feel right to me. Visually, it just doesn't fit. Okay, moveset time. We all remember how he plays in Godzilla Save the Earth Vanilla, correct? I also might go through the moveset comparison video that Goji Rex posted long ago so that people who haven't watched that video can see the differences, and I might have some things to comment on it. You know, if I had just gone to the next page, I would have seen Shinsei included in the manual. It says that moves and abilities are pulled from all three movesets across the Pipeworks trilogy for Godzilla 2000. Obviously, I'm not super into the weeds like Goji Rex is in terms of game development, so I really do not know what differences are there between Godzilla 2000 within the confines of Destroy All Monsters Melee and Godzilla Save the Earth. Obviously, there's a lot of changes that come along with Godzilla Unleashed, but I actually don't remember most of the differences between Godzilla 2000, between Destroy All Monsters Melee and Save the Earth, aside from the fact that Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla 90s were practically clones of each other in Destroy All Monsters Melee. So if there are any differences between that iteration of the character and the Save the Earth iteration of Godzilla 2000, I don't know them. Okay, so Godzilla 2000 is the game's standard rushdown character. I appreciate that Godzilla Heisei and Godzilla Millennium are going to be vastly different as opposed to Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla 90s in the base Save the Earth, who were practically the same character but slightly different. Godzilla 90s had the better upwards fierce attack, don't at me. And yes, if you've seen the original presentation for Godzilla 2000, all of the Millennium iterations of the character are present in Godzilla Millennium. Okay, before I get to the skins, I guess I'll go over the moveset comparison since it is linked here in the manual.
Godzilla 2000.
This is what I was talking about. Obviously, the video cuts to the next move before you can actually see it, but
Godzilla 2000.
obviously this is a low resolution image, but just look at the way his kind of just droop down to the side. It doesn't look very intimidating, and it doesn't really feel like something Godzilla would do. Like, you can see even the non-combat stance of Godzilla Millennium. It's a tiny little thing, and I know Goji Rex has said that he and the other developers do not want to get too bogged down in the hyper-specifics in the weeds, so to speak, but it is just a tiny little thing, and they have said that they can kind of take pieces, parts from other animations and put them onto other animations. So I feel like taking the arm position from this stance and making that the resting position that his arms end on in the intro animation would be a good idea. Now, it might be the case that they are already the same, but if that's the case, then the camera angle is what's making it look not so great. You can tell that the running animation from Godzilla Unleashed has been used to modify the running animation for Save the Earth, which is excellent, and it looks a lot better. You can also tell that Godzilla 2000's run speed has been reduced. He's still not slow. He's, as the Monster Manual said, kind of the base archetype of the game, the standard rushdown character, so he's not like the fastest, but Same deal with that animation because, as I said in the original Save the Earth Melee presentation, much like with the intro animation, his arms just kind of droop down and they don't really look like they're in the correct spot. And since that roar animation was directly ripped from Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii, once again, I do not blame the developers for Save the Earth Melee for that. Why that is the way that it is, I couldn't say, but it's always bugged me, and it bugs me now, 3 or 4 months removed from that original presentation. In that original presentation video, I very inaccurately predicted that this was new special ability for Godzilla 2000, but it's just a taunt. But they haven't completely forgotten the Generator G1 as far as I understand it, because I think as part of his moveset and properties, he can automatically restore a little bit of health over time anyway, which kind of addresses what I said in that original reaction. What I said about the 2001 iteration though still stands, and I have a feeling when we get to the skins page on the monster manual, more will be revealed to that point. I originally thought that that was just a thing for the trailer, or that it was perhaps running animation in the water now, but having thought about it since then, I can kind of understand why it isn't any of those things. It basically just makes you move around in a different animation if you taunt in the water, which is a good move. His atomic breath comes out way faster, and I know a lot of that is just engine modifications that have been made, but I will say I will miss the satisfaction that comes with a fully charged atomic breath from Godzilla 2000, because maybe it's just the intro cutscene for Godzilla Save the Earth, but it feels like it really just lands with a wallop in the game. I'm glad that they kept his jab combo the same. You can't change perfection. I vastly prefer the new kick animation. It always just felt impotent for some reason without a combo finisher. I like how his dorsal plates kind of light up during the tail smack animation. New jump punch attack is excellent, and I'm glad they changed it, and you can especially tell how impotent it felt Kiryu as an opponent, because that metal scratching sound effect just really doesn't put any oomph behind it. I really hope that the jump kick now works kind of like how it worked in that GameCube Destroy All Monsters Melee trailer that I reacted to eons ago on this channel. Because I've always wanted to do the combo that is done in that original trailer. So if lowering the hitbox and changing the hit stun and knockback properties of the jump kick move has achieved that end, then I am very happy. It's going to take a lot to retrain my brain that this move is now on a different input. Why is this move now the up punch move? I just want to know why. At least they didn't get rid of it. It also has an explosive hit on the last punch. I appreciate that they reworked how the headbutt charge works, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've changed the animation to the Godzilla 2000 dash animation from Godzilla Unleashed, which just looks so much better. I have said it before, but I am so glad that the stomps in this game have been fixed. I actually see myself using Godzilla Millennium's stomp now. I am so glad that they replaced the up kick move. It never really made sense that it was the bite. Aside from, we don't really know what to put in this slot in his inputs, so. That makes so much more sense as the forward fierce. It really wasn't a very good up fierce. I understand why the animation was changed, but there's something just goofily charming about the original tail attack. Again, I really like that his dorsal plates light up when you do the back tail attack now. Because, as everyone knows, in the Godzilla 2000 Millennium Japanese version of Godzilla 2000, his spines just light up for like no reason sometimes. So in a sense, that's kind of a reference, and I appreciate that. Muscle memory is going to screw me so hard with this one. It makes sense, but I really like the additional hit effects there. I really like the change in his pose in that new rage attack animation.
KO. KO.
I've said it before, and I believe Goji Rex even responded to me, but I mentioned to him that the lighting in those roar animations, at least on the boxing ring stage as it is currently in Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, makes it very hard to tell what's going on. I think they have preserved the original rare victory animation for the new model, and I look forward to seeing that because it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in the footage used in this video. I appreciate that they added a new running grab for Millennium Godzilla. Obviously, it said it's a work in progress, but it's been a few months since this video was posted. So I'm curious if that's still in the game, and if so, what it's going to look like, and how it's going to be used in more competitive environments. Okay, on to the skins. Plenty of skins were shown in the presentation that I originally reacted to back in March, but as we've gone through all of these manuals, I have obviously gotten more acquainted to the quote-unquote max number of alternate skins that can be added to the characters. So there are going to be skins in this that were not in the original presentation, and even though I have gone over this manual in the past, I don't remember which ones they have added on top of the ones that were in the presentation. I think Godzilla Millennium has all of the skin slots on the manuals already filled in, but I don't remember, so let's check it out. Oh my goodness, I was wrong. There's still one slot open. So there's 2000, that's the new base model, and I just want to take this opportunity to say that, much like everyone else has said, the new model is just phenomenal. It actually looks like Godzilla. I just appreciate that Myra Goji is now faithfully represented in the game. 2001 one. I do remember in the presentation thinking that the head was a little blocky, but it might not look so bad in motion, and the icon image seen here makes it look better, so, you know, what do I know? Kiryu Goji and SOS Goji, we knew that that was going to be a thing, and I'm glad that this model is in the game, because this is basically Godzilla 2000 after having done the fusion dance with the Heisei incarnation of Godzilla, so I'm glad that that one's in there. 2004 Final Wars Goji is in a similar boat in my mind as the 2001 incarnation of Godzilla, because some of the shots in the presentation trailer made it look not so great, but then the intro animation for it makes it look perfectly fine, if not great. So I'm probably just going to have to wait until Godzilla Millennium is playable in the release version of the game to land on a opinion regarding how it looks. Destroy All Monsters Melee Classic and Saved Era Classic are, as we have come to expect, rather standard issue for the monsters in the monster manuals, but I like that Destroy All Monsters Melee is included because I do feel as though its model is significantly different and honestly better than the base Save the Earth model. Double Smash Godzilla is excellent. There's like an hour's worth of footage of it fighting the Double Smash Orga, which I highly recommend you check out. I believe it's on the Nasty Soft channel. So Unleashed Colors, I've always not been a huge fan of the Unleashed coloration, but I mean, fine, I guess. Someone's gotta like it. Traditional Color is basically just 2000 doing the fusion dance with 2002 and 2003. Oh, I didn't even know this one was in there. Anniversary G2K. Godzilla 2000 with golden spines and a black body. Can't really tell from the image. I can kinda see the gold on the spines, but that's really cool and I look forward to seeing that. As I said in the classic trio video, I do want to see golden minus Goji though on the classic Godzilla. This doesn't change that, but I'm glad it's included. Now, I didn't think I would be doing this, but I get to look for a final skin for Godzilla Millennium. You know, I really think that a Godzilla vs. Megaguirus coloration would make sense, but at the same time, that's practically the same thing as the Godzilla Unleashed version of the character. So we already have the Godzilla Unleashed coloration of the Godzilla 2000 updated model, so I don't really see a need in having a Gira Goji. Okay, so standard disclaimer. I do not know if it is possible for them to have more skins added to a character than the 12 that are slotted on the monster manual. However, I have scoured the depths of Wikizilla to find 4 different variations of the various Godzilla suits and designs that are represented in Godzilla Millennium at current, and I'm just going to mention them, and they can either fight for that last spot, or they could all make it in if indeed the limit on total skins is not solid at those 12. I think I'm going to start backwards and work my way back. So we'll start with the Final Wars design that I found, and we'll move downward to 1999, Godzilla 2000. This is the theater exclusive Godzilla toy for Godzilla Final Wars. It looks very similar to what the child version of me would have designed Snow/Ice Godzilla as. This one is unique in that it is a recolor of the 2004 Godzilla design, because we seem to have plenty of Myra Goji/Gira Goji recolors, so this has that going for it. Now, this next one I don't really think is going to make it, but it caught my eye and I'm going to bring it up anyway, and that is this toy recolor of the 2004 2002-2003 Godzilla. This is just a toy that shows what he looks like when he's kind of being hit by the shock blades from Kiryu or the Hyper Maser Cannon from Tokyo SOS. And I know that the Hyper Maser Cannon is a move that Kiryu will be able to do in Save the Earth Melee, whereas the Absolute Zero Cannon is his rage move. So I don't really know if it would make a whole lot of sense to make this a recolor for the 2002-2003 iteration of Godzilla, but I just wanted to bring it up. Now, these next two, I feel like have a pretty decent chance, but as I said, we've already got several Godzilla 2000 recolors anyway, so part of me feels like they would just be piling onto that list of alternate skins. Again, a theater exclusive toy recolor of Godzilla 2000. This is kind of like a burning variation of Godzilla 2000, and the Heisei and legendary iterations of Godzilla are already going to have burning forms, so maybe it would make sense to give one to the Millennium Godzilla, but I personally prefer this other one that I found. This is what the Wikizilla page calls the Superfest figure for Godzilla 2000. If I'm being 100% honest, I'd probably prefer this to that last guy because this is kind of a burning design, what with the red gold dorsal plates and also the red chest, but it's unique. It's not a totally same color across the board figure. Actually, no, I can't believe I forgot about this, but I haven't even looked at the concept art for Godzilla Final Wars, and I do remember there being some interesting concept designs for him. Oh, okay, so there were models made of it. I am so glad I found that auto editor program. This was the design that they were going to originally go with for Godzilla Final Wars, and I can see why they went with the actual Finaro Goji design, but this model as a separate skin for the Millennium Godzilla would be awesome. Do I want this in any official Godzilla media? No, it's way too different. The red stuff on the chest, I'm not really a fan of, but for a singular model for an alternate skin in a fan project mod called Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, yes, I would like one of those. But again, I don't know how many of these could even get in because we don't know what the upper limit is as of the recording of this video on July 6th. But I will say, if any of the ones I've suggested were going to get in that last slot, I'd probably go with this one because it's probably the most different. Overall, it was worth the wait for them to add Godzilla Millennium to Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, and I look forward to playing him if I have access to the download for the demo. But I do look forward to finally playing as Godzilla 2000 in the demo for Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. Hopefully it's not really a demo and more so a full release. I mean, I know this project will probably never reach a finished state, but I look forward to playing as Godzilla 2000 when he finally rolls around. And yes, I realize I've called him Godzilla 2000 at various points, even though technically this is Millennium Godzilla in this game. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, that about covers it. I have now gone over all of the monster manuals, front to back, all of them. And yes, I know it was kind of awkward at the beginning of this video to kind of go over Titanosaurus in brief, but at least now we can say I've gone over all of them. So from this point forward, I rely on you guys. If there's anything new that is added to the monster manuals that I have covered already, I need to be told about it in the comments, preferably under this video. But that's not gonna happen. I barely have any viewers anyway, so, well, unless this video for some reason gets a lot of viewership off the back of talking about Titanosaurus, because at the present moment, that original Titanosaurus video is the highest view count of the monster manual videos, sitting at I think about 1,500 to 1,600 views. Hopefully I get surprised in the coming weeks and months, and hopefully by the time the next presentation comes along for Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, I've reached another banger video, and hopefully some of my other content has picked up the pace and picked up the slack at the same time. So I don't know what I'm going to do going forward from here with regards to individual monsters for Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. I think what I'm going to do next is probably going to be another roster prediction video, but I'll go a little bit more into the specifics of what I would like to see under each character as far as gameplay and skins go. Thank you for everybody that has stuck around this long, including you, guy that singularly watches the premieres of all of these videos. Your engagement is very much appreciated. I really like going onto my YouTube Studio app on my phone and seeing the engagement under each of these videos. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you around in the next video, and until next time, I will see you guys on the flip side.